This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the Game of the Week, 1981-84 Fall League. We got a game today in the Game of the Week. Pittsburgh Pirates and Cincinnati Reds. Teams who, boy, I mean, they can do a knockout, drag out from, wow, I don't know, 70 and beyond to the 80s. I mean, really? I mean, it's always a knockout, drag out. Different eras, 71 Pirates, 79 Pirates, Reds in the middle 70s. And born in the early 80s now, and it's still a knockout, drag out with these two squads. I mean, you know, you don't want to throw in a hit by pitch in a series. Either pitcher will, as most likely a brawl will break out. Biggest rivalry in the carryover league. Maybe not the biggest rivalry league in Major League Baseball, but having two teams perennially in the playoff hunt. By the time the early 80s roll around, you would expect the Pirates and the Reds to dip a little bit. Cardinals, by 82, win the World Series. Cubs go to the playoffs in 84. So it's much more wide open. But let's see what's happened in their series so far. We open up in Pittsburgh in Game 1. It's Mario Soto for the Reds and Jose De Leon for the Pirates. Bottom of the first. Pirates strike quickly. A couple singles. RBI ground out. RBI double by Dave Parker, who would play his career for both teams. 2-0 Pirates. It stays that way. De Leon and Soto, somewhat similar. You know, dominate the right-handed batters. A lot of strikeouts. A little bit susceptible to lefties in the long ball, but goose eggs until the ninth. Jose De Leon trying to complete a one-hit shutout with about 6 or 7 walks in there. He walks Griffey. He walks Foster. They say, nah, it's your game, kid. He strikes out Concepcion. Then he gives up a single to Foley to load the bases, and that's the point of weakness. Moreover, not only is it the point of weakness, now he's on the hook for a loss with just a 2-0 lead and 3 men on the bases. They go to Kenta Colby, actually in a similar card type as a righty pitcher who's better against righties than lefties. And believe it or not, it is Mike Squires rolling the power roll on his card, which is a double. It's a shame he can't hit a grand slam, but it's a double. That plates 2 to tie the game, blowing the save. 2-2 tie, second and third, but DeColvey gets the next 2 outs. So it's 2-2 in the bottom of the ninth. And Mario Soto, at this point, had just given up those 2 runs in the first. So much like De Leon, he wants to pitch into the ninth. Well, as soon as Willie Stargell, 41 or 42-year-old Willie Stargell, steps into the batter's box, 3-6, it's gone! Another Pop Stargell hero moment. Willie Stargell walk-off homer in his last year of 82, which is insane. 3-2 victory for the Pirates in a walk-off win. Let's show you what happened in game number 2. Game 2, the Reds go with Tom Seaver versus Rick Rhoden of the Pirates. Interesting second inning for both squads. Reds touch up Rhoden. It's a Foster walk, Concepcion double, sac fly Foley, RBI single Mike Squires, fielder's choice, stolen base, bump Wills. Then it's a RBI double by Number 9 hitter, Mike O'Berry. A single and a walk leaves the bases loaded, so the score just 3 times. Okay, bottom of the inning against Seaver. 3 up and 3 down in the first, 2 up and 2 down in the second, but then you get another Pop Stargell home run. That's 2 homers in the last 2 at-bats for Willie Stargell. Career resurgence? Maybe. He's way up there, folks. Hey, yeah, he's really old. But, hey, homers in back-to-back at-bats. Then you get a single by Von Purple Hayes. Rodney Scott walks. And then here's the big moment of the inning. Ground ball to Lee Lacy playing third base today. A man without a position. The outfield's full for the Reds. Frankly, Lee Lacy should be on the Pirates, but the Reds stole him a few years ago in a trade with Cleveland, who stole him in a trade with the Dodgers back in the late 70s. In any event, it's an error. And that sets up a Howard Johnson. You remember Howard Johnson? He's a Tiger card here. RBI single, and then Omar Moreno cleans up the bases with a double. And a very disappointed Tom Seaver gives up 4 unearned runs in the second inning. It's 5-3 Pittsburgh. 5th inning, though. Lee Lacy single, steals a base, scores on an RBI single, Ken Griffey. George Foster, 2-run homer. Reds take a 6-5 lead. It stays that way into the 7th. Rodden's gone after 6. 8 hits and 6 runs. They go to Charlie Leibrandt. A single. Guy gets caught stealing. Then a 2-base error. Then a walk. Then a Lomax. Pretty horrible luck in that inning to get all those guys on and get nothing. So in the bottom of the inning, Seaver's still out there. After 2 outs again, another 2-out rally. Walk, RBI single by Von Purple Hayes. It is 6-6. Pittsburgh goes inning and a third with Leibrandt. Then they go to Buddy Solomon to get out of the 8th and pitch the 9th inning. And again, the Reds. They get single dot. They have to go station. And Kelly Paris makes the final out, so they leave him loaded again. Bottom of the 9th, Seaver's still out there because, frankly, look, he's had a good game, and his defense let him down early. So he's pitching as long as he can. He is the ace of the Reds, for that matter. He strikes out Johnny Ray, but then Dave Parker with a triple. And then Don Onslaught with an RBI single. Another walk-off win for your Pittsburgh Pirates, 7-6. Tom Seaver in a complete game loss, 8 1/3, 9 hits, 7 runs. Only 3 are earned. Did walk 6, strike out 7. Buddy Solomon gets the decision for the Pirates in this game. And the Pirates, 2 straight nail-biting walk-off wins at home. Which brings us to Game 3. But let's look at the standings in this wild division of the National League. We're up here. There we go. So the Pirates are now in first. They are a game and a half ahead of the Reds, who started this series a half game up. Again, we're not going to have a wild card this year, so one of these teams is not going to the playoff. Well, to the playoff game thing we're going to have, but basically the Cubs have played themselves out of this somehow, and the other 3 teams are hanging in there with Pirates presently in first. So, Game 3 is in Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, and now we get to the left side of the pitcher's mound today. For the Pirates, they go with 1982 John Candelaria, 12-7, 2.94 ERA in 175 innings. And the Reds counter with their lefty, 1983 Joe The Price is Right, 10-6, 2.88 ERA in 144 innings. Starter 7, Candy's a starter 6. Probably see some bullpen work today. Battle of lefties, teams restructure the lineups. Pirates going for a road sweep in Riverfront Stadium. Leading off, Omar Moreno. 65 short X. Concepcion's a 1E34 makes the play. Batting second is Paul Cerna. 6'10", center X. They have Brett Butler in center. He's a 2 center fielder, makes the catch. And poor old Johnny Ray, 4'10", lines the first. Bottom of 1 in Cincinnati, it's Brett Butler. 1-5, grounds to second. Ken Griffey, 53, rolls to first. And George Foster, 1-5 is a base hit. And batting cleanup is Lee May. The big bopper returns to Cincinnati. He's got to be 40 years old. He's as old as Stargell, I think. Lee May, 4-4, center X, but Moreno's out there, and you can forget about it. Omar Moreno's a 1-2 in center field. My goodness, that's outstanding. Scoreless after the first. It's Dave Parker. 1-7 is a K. Don Onslaught, 5-7 is a K. And Gary Gaetti, acquired from the Twins, 68, flies to right. Pirates have a lot of free agents. For some reason, the Pirates franchise started to tumble a little bit in the early 80s, so they dumped a lot of the traditional Pirates, except for Stargell, and went out and found some interesting free agents like Von Purple Hayes and Gary Gaetti, and I guess Don Slought's an interesting one. Yeah, that sort of thing. Bottom of the second, it's Dave Concepcion. The Reds, on the other hand, are rolling with the Big Bird Machine guys for as long as the wheels stay on the cart. 58, short X. Pirate shortstop is Paul Cerna. He's actually a second baseman playing out of position. He's a 40-36, and he makes the play. Johnny Bench batting sixth, crushes lefties. 1-9's a strikeout. And Lee Lacy, and they're booing. I don't know why they. The idea of him booing him doesn't make any sense. It's just he really should be on the Pirates, but the Pirates have been unable to get to him, as other teams just keep trading for him, and the Pirates just don't have enough loot to trade back, so they don't get him. 54 off of Candelaria's homer, 1-12. And he's got power versus lefties. It's gone. 1-0 Reds. Bump Wills, 1-6. Hummer 1-6 fly ball. And Bump Wills, let's take a look at his Bump Wills card. He is the son of Maury Wills. He started with the Rangers. And then he went to the Cubs in 82. I believe he hit a home run on opening day and had 5 more after that. And have plenty of power versus lefties. This is really the last decent year of Bump Wills. A 272 hitter with 46 walks, double-A stealer. There's never been a question about the apple doesn't fall far from the tree with his dad. A double-A stealer, great base runner. However, he is a 4.34 at second, and that is certainly something that will shorten your career. 2-0. Kelly Paris, 37, base hit. Back up top to Brett Butler. 49 is a walk. Ken Griffey, 45, flies to right field. We go to the third. It's Von Purple Hayes, 45, flies to center. Rodney Scott, 47 is a K. And Bob Baylor, 2-9, grounds are short. How many actual Pirates are Pirates? Stargell, okay. Moreno, okay. Johnny Ray. Dave Parker is on, with a Reds card, but we get the idea he was a Pirate. And that's about it for the offense, folks. They bit heavily in a free agency and, well, got him in the first place. George Foster, 2-9. Let's take a look at this card. 81 Foster. So all the 81 Reds cards are going to be productive because the Reds had the best record in the National League in 81. So Griffey's 81 is here. Foster's 81. Concepcion and Johnny Bench. Their 81 cards are all in the deck. So they're going to be productive. In this case, Foster hit .295 with 22 home runs in a strike-shortened season. 2-9 is homer, 1-6, double the rest. It's a two-base hit. Now the big bopper, Lee May. 55, triple 1-6. Off of Candy is a triple for Lee May, who had 2 in 91 at-bats. So it's actually not that peculiar, I guess. Concepcion, 42, comebacker to the mound. Runner stays at third. Lee Lacy, 35, is a walk. He's being held on by the zero arm with 1 out. Playing back for Johnny Bench for oh, I'm sorry, that was Bench. My bad. Lee Lacy's at the plate right now. Runners on the corners for Lee Lacy. 67 is a K. Had these base steals at the bottom, and I thought one of them was at first. So now we have bump wills. 59. Grounds the second. Well, they get a run. Strand a guy at third after a comeback to the mound to walk and a couple outs. The Reds have a 3-0 lead, trying to avoid being swept. The perfect Joe Price goes to the top of the fourth inning. Omar Moreno. 1-8. It's triple 1-18, and there goes the no-no. A 3-base hit for Moreno. 3-run lead. They're going to play back for Paul Cerna. 34 grounds to third, and the runner holds. Johnny Ray. 57 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's the Cobra, Dave Parker. 67, also a K. Joe Price strands the triple. Bottom of the fourth. 3-0 Cincinnati. Leading off's Kelly Paris. We'll always have Paris. He strikes out. And Rhett Butler, a bunch of old film references here. Brett Butler, 110 is a base hit. Ken Griffey is a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it's George Foster. 1-2, Lomax. We go to the fifth. Slaught, 39. Flies to left. Gary Gaetti, 69, center. And Von Purple Hayes, 36, grounds the first. It's Tim Purple Rains, so it's got to be Von Purple Hayes. Yeah. You just can't go any other way with that, folks. Sorry. Lime, 1-8 is a base hit. Concepcion, 44. Center X, it's Moreno. Forget about it. It's the wrong part of the ballpark to hit. Johnny Bench, 39. Let's take a look at a card. Johnny Bench. 1981. Johnny Bench is hitting .309, folks. Probably another reason why the Reds had the best record in the National League. He does it by destroying lefties and still hitting reasonably well against righties. However, his throwing arm is now diminished. He's a +2 arm catcher, which almost seems... Well, it's disappointing. It's almost like I wish you could just make him a DH or something, but he's a +2 arm catcher, but he still destroys the ball. It's a comeback. You know, he almost was comeback player of the year because in 1980, I think he hit .250. Still good for a catcher. 3-9 is a walk. 2 on, and it's Lee Lacy. 2-3, fielder's choice. Runners on the corners for Bump Wills. 66 off the Candyman. There's an RBI single to right field. Lacy, 18. He's going to try and go coast to coast with 2 outs, which is not a smart move. And he is thrown out by none other than the Cobra, Dave Parker. Well, that was not a smart move there, Lee. Made the final out of third base. Cardinal rule broken, but the Reds have a 4-0 lead. We go to the sixth. Rodney Scott. 211 pops out. Bob Baylor, 39 single. Baylor had a nice little career with Texas, the Toronto, Baltimore, Toronto, the New York Mets. Some nice years in there. Play all over the field. Omar Moreno, 64. Short X, this is Concepcion. A 1, and that's a double play. What a day for Joe Price. 2 hits through 6 innings. Leading off, it's Kelly Paris in the bottom of the 6th with the Reds leading 4-0. 1-6 strikeout. Brett Butler, 37, single 1-6, line out. And Ken Griffey is K. 4-zip into the 7th. It is Paul Cerna leading off. 1-6, let's take a look at this guy you're running. Who the heck's Paul Cerna? Well, when you see this card, you'll understand why. Cerna played for Seattle in 81, 255 card, but the split is certainly opportunistic as he destroys, left-handed pitching at 42% with the homers and the average. Would prefer to play second, but some guy named Johnny Ray's there, so they got to make him play out of position at short just to get his bat in the lineup. It was 4 home runs in 94 at-bats, so you could see the 30 homer potential. had it, 600 plate appearances kind of thing. 1-6 is gone. Pirates are on the board. Cincinnati has now a 4-1 lead. And it's Johnny Ray. 1-9 grounds the third. The Cobra, Dave Parker. 65 short X. This is Concepcion. He's a 1, but he's also an E34, and he makes the play. Don Slot, 1-7's a single. One more batter, and Price is broken. He'll, let's see, in a 4-1 game, I think they're going to hook him. They have a nice bullpen. John Franco, Ron Davis, Bill Scherer, Tom Hume. They feel that they're not going to pull Gaetti, but Gaetti really does hit tons of homers against lefties, and that makes it a one-run game in a hurry. So they're going to pull old Joe Price after 6 2/3. One hit away from the point of weakness. And we're going to go to Tom Hume here. Hume in 82 for Cincinnati had a 3.11 ERA in 64 innings. Could be the closer, but with the emergence of Franco, they got a nice Yankees Ron Davis card. And Bill Scherer, Hume has to be a long man here. Now the question, if you're the Pirates, you're already up 2-0 in the series. Do you take a shot with a pinch hitter here? Calling the bluff? It could backfire because if the batter bats in the ninth, he'd face a lefty, most likely John Franco. Or he could have Pop Stargell swing away as well in a pinch hitting mode. He's been pretty hot in that sort of thing. I think they're just going to pinch hit Howard Johnson. Let's take a look at him. Howard Johnson's going to pinch hit for Gaetti. And Howard was a Detroit Tiger in 82. Would you believe this is his highest average? Better than anything he did with the Mets. 316. But it's just 155 at-bats. And then after that, there's a nice long lull until he has his nice season with the Mets in 86, 87, 88. But the Howard Johnson will pinch hit here against Hume. With a runner at first and 2 outs, here's the pitch to HJ. 1-8 is a base hit. 2 are on, 2 outs. And now it's Von Purple Hayes. Let's take a look at him. So we got the 82 Von Hayes card from away from Cleveland. He hits 250. Great outfield defense. And he can steal bases. And you can also put him at first base for a few minutes if you wish. Full-time power. And he's got a nice couple of future cards coming. Really good 84 card is on the horizon. A guy who played for Cleveland then was traded to the Phillies. So the Pirates, well, there you go. After the Pirates lost Lee Lacy to another team, they stole Von Hayes from another team. So there you go. Von Hayes is a suitable replacement for Lee Lacy. Here's the pitch to Von. 3-6 is a grounder to third. Hume gets out of the inning. Stays 4-1. Bottom of the 7th. Stretch time here in Cincinnati. And we're presently listening to the Soul Mix, which is playing the Isley Brothers, who actually were Ohio natives of the Cincinnati Reds. The Soul Mix here, about 50 songs from the 70s. Nice little mix I'll put together. You know, what's in here? Everything's in here. Everything is in here, folks. Mayfield, Eddie Kendricks is in here. We got Donny Hathaway, Roberta Flack doing the classic. Bobby Womack, Harold Melvin, The Intruders. We got it all here. We have Marvin. We've got Ohio players. We have the Spinners. Stevie, War. It's all here. Bill Withers, Bobby Caldwell. Well, yeah. Teddy Pendergrass. It's all here in the Soul Mix. Back to the game. Bottom of the 7th. Candy will exit after 6, as the Pirates have made it a game, and Candy struggled, getting touched up in 3 of his 6 innings. We're going to go to a righty, see if we can calm the Reds down a little bit. And that'll be Buddy Solomon. Comes on in the 7th. Buddy was a Pirate in 81 with a 3.12 ERA and 127 innings. Starter 7, better suited to be in the bullpen, in the rotation, but sent to the bullpen because De Leon and Jim Bibby, Rick Roden, and Candelaria, they're only starters. So Solomon, it has to be flexed to the pen. Bottom of the 7th of a 4-1 game, Howard Johnson just takes over at third base where Grady was. And we continue with George Foster. 6-11. It's pitcher X. Solomon is an E12. Makes the play. Lee May, 32. Grounds is short. Taking over for him at first base will be Mike Squires. Great defensive first baseman they picked up off the White Sox to play defense at first. Now you got Concepcion, 58, flies to right. 4-1 into the 8th inning. Hume will start the inning and face Rodney Scott. 37 is a grounder to second. Bob Baylor, 6'10", center X. You have Brett Butler, a 2E5 in center. He makes the catch. And Marino, 56, is a base hit to right field. He'll be held on, and this is the moment. Paul Stern doesn't hit righties very well. Let's try Mike Ramsey, the other shortstop, as a pinch hitter. Switch hitting pinch hitter. You always like to have switch hitters pinch hit. Always, gives you the theory that you can hit from the, good side of the mound there. Hume's not particularly good against lefties. They are going to go to, I think they might just go to John Franco now, right? Yeah, with 2 outs in the 8th inning. John Franco is going to come into the game and try and get a 4-out save here. Let's take a look at John. So he was with the Reds, and of course he was with the Mets after that. 84, a 2.61 ERA in 79 innings for your Cincinnati Reds. Relief 2. Could hit his point of weakness in the 9th. John Franco versus Mike Ramsey, and here is the pitch. 1-5 is a grounder to second base. The inning's over. Bottom of the 8th. Solomon will continue to Johnny Bench. 3-10, he walked him. Now you got Lacey Wills in the bottom here. They're going to go to a lefty. They're going to go to Bob Alchinko in the bottom of the 8th with a man on. Alchinko in 81 pitched for Oakland with a 3.23 ERA in 39 innings. Lefty setup guy, but wants to pitch to the bottom of the lineup, probably all the way through to Griffey if it goes that far. Before Foster May sets you on a bench, bat again. Lee Lacey's the hitter. Here's the pitch. 6'10", short X. This is the new shortstop. Ramsey's a 3E33 at short. It's a fielder's choice. Now you got Lacey at first as a double-A. He's going to take off for a steal. And he is thrown out by Don Slaught. Bump Wills, 46. Base hit. He's going to try a stolen base. He's also a double-A stealer. And he makes the stolen base. Well, one of the double-A stealers steals successfully. Runner at second, 2 outs, Kelly Paris. 36 is a base hit in the center field, and Wills will run, and he will score. And the Reds add to their lead 5-1 with a Kelly Paris single. Way to go, Kelly. Now you got Brett Butler. 64 off of Alchinko is catcher's X. And your catcher is Slaught, a 3E11. And that's the end of the inning. But it's 5-1 right now, an easier save opportunity for Franco. Tom Foley will come into the game to be defense at second base. He's a 3, better than what they had there. Actually, Paris goes over to third, and Lacio goes to DH. And here we go. Franco in the ninth will face Ray Parker slot for the save opportunity. Johnny Ray, 39 is a walk. Didn't want to do that. Dave Parker, 53, fielder's choice. Don Slot, 58 is a K, and this is the guy you want. Howard Johnson doesn't hit lefties very well at all. 59, but you walked him. This is not what you wanted. So now you have Tyrone on deck. And you got Von Purple Hayes. 37 Hayes, double and a 4. It's an RBI single. And hey, don't go away, folks. The Pirates have 2 walk-off wins in the ninth at home. And they're trying to get one on the road late here. 5-2. And Rodney Scott. Oh boy, it's a shame the Reds aren't going to bring a righty in. We got Stargell waiting for a home run chance. But this is why you have Scherer and Franco both in your bullpen, so that we keep Stargell on the bench. Rodney Scott will have to hit away, then. Let's take a look at him before he swings. Rodney was for the Expos in 81. 205, yep. But a ton of stolen bases. Those Expo teams stole a ton of games. They had 100 stolen bases out of LaFleur in 80. They had another 100 out of Tim Raines a couple of years later. And Rodney Scott was batting second and smacking the ball, in the hole, trying to get on base himself. I think he stole like 60, 70 bases in there. Here's the pitch to Rodney Scott. 4-10 off Franco with short X. Concepcion. It's either going to be an error to end the game or to, Actually, it's over, Fielder's choice 3. He is a 1, and that's the end of the game. Rodney Scott, roller back to Concepcion. And that will do it. And the Reds do indeed win 5-2. So the winner is Mr. Price. A nice save for Franco. Candelaria takes the loss. So after the break, we'll give you the results of Game 4 and 5 if necessary. Game 4 for the Reds at home, it'll be Bruce Bereni versus Jim Bibby of the Pirates. And if it goes to a Game 5 back in Pittsburgh, it'll be a rematch of Tom Seaver, Rick Roden. So that's coming up. Stay tuned. All right, folks, here's the box score of Game 3 you just saw. Cincinnati Reds winning 5-2. Price gets the win, 6 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run allowed. Franco gets a 4-out save, but did give up 2 hits and a run in the 5-2 victory. Candelaria, 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs. They take the defeat. Can the Reds even the series in Game 4 in Riverfront Stadium with Bruce Bereni? It's Jim Bibby and Bereni, and the idea is Bereni is really vulnerable to lefties. And believe it or not, the Pirates can start 8 lefties. Everybody but Don Slot. He's either a switch hitter or left-hander. So in this peculiar game, it just seems like the guys who are really fast get thrown out on the bases. The guys who can't hit keep getting hits. And it's just a head-scratching series. But in any event, RBI double to Cobra in the first inning, 1-0 Pirates. RBI single Mike Ramsey in the second inning, 2-0. Tom Foley RBI triple, 2-1. And the Reds get doubles by Lacey and Butler, an error on Rodney Scott. Rodney Scott gave up a hit and 2 errors as a 2E 15-second baseman. Again, it's just sloppy baseball by team, traditional teams with different players. Then in the 8th inning, Charlie Leibranch just left in to get knocked around, and then Reds win 10-5. And let's just move on, because it's quite apparent, folks, that baseball in the 1980s is not nearly as interesting as baseball in the 1970s. Game 5, point being, Tom Seaver loses again, this time to Rick Roden, by a score of 4-2. Actually, low-scoring game. Actually, it was scoreless until the Reds get 2 runs in the 6th. A walk single, a single walk, and a fielder's choice. They get a run off of Seaver in the 6th by Moreno. It's 2-1 Cincinnati, but then inexplicably in the 7th inning after 2 outs, Stargell doubles, Von Hayes doubles, and Rodney Scott, again, 205 hitting Rodney Scott with 2 hits off of Seaver to drive in or score runs in the 6th or 7th inning. Real head-scratching game. John Franco gives up a solo homer to Gary Gaetti in the 8th. When this is over with, Bob Alchinko gets the victory for the Pirates. And the home team won all 5 games, which tells me pretty much nothing about these teams. We're looking for road victories. We're looking for good hitting or pitching or defense, and we haven't seen it at all in what I think is a clunker of a series that did go 5 games in any event. Pirates do indeed beat the Reds 3-2 in this series, so they move ahead by half a game, and let's take a look. So we're back to this. And the Cardinals are still in the race as well, and the Cubs, sort of flatlined there. So that's where we are. Pirates are presently in first place in this division. Break them up. The free agent Pittsburgh Pirates, they beat the Cincinnati Reds 3-2. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.